Bungie must have been feeling the holiday spirit this year because they decided to give us an absolute gift. There aren't a lot of lightweight 450 pulse rifles out there right now being used. I mean, if you recall, not too long ago, Bungie actually decided to buff the archetype in PvP, giving them a little more viability. And now they brought us the new legendary pulse rifle connected to the Dawning event called Stay Frosty, and it's really, really good. But is it good enough to drop a "we ran out of medals" against a teabagging, top-fragging enemy Thundercrash Titan aping with shotguns and SMGs and make him rage quit, you might ask? To which I would respond, that's an oddly specific question, my friend, but the answer is actually yes, it is.
Zone advantage is yours. Make them cry. 2 for 1. Guardian to the right of you. Guardian to the left of you. Guard.
The Stay Frosty is a bit of a grind if you want to start racking up multiple rolls to compare and contrast and find the one that fits you, but I already did that, so maybe you don't have to. And at the end of the video, after we go over the stats and perks and all that stuff, I will make a god roll recommendation for you. But the perk pool is stacked like nobody's business. So she thick. I mean, it's full of S tier perks, and we're gonna get to that in a second, but first, a couple of quick tips about getting these to drop for you. I recommend you start stockpiling your Dawning Spirit, the purple stuff. You're gonna need it. I know it's tempting to just focus it all in stacks of 30 at a time to get another roll on the pulse rifle, or any of the other Dawning weapons for that matter, but in the long run, it's going to be so much smarter and more efficient if instead you spend 80 Dawning Spirit to buy Ava's 2 power-ups that give you an extra perk in the first and second columns on all of your Dawning weapon drops. That way you're basically getting 2 pulses for the price of 1. You know, and how many times do you like get a 4 out of 5 roll, but you've got Thresh in one of the columns, and you're like, no, but at least this time, you're gonna have a couple of rolls in each column, so you maybe try to avoid that. And you might end up with some banger perk combos to play around with on one of these pulse rifles that drops for you. Otherwise, make sure that you have the Starfarer 7M ship from Season 12 equipped. That way, you're passively going to be getting extra Dawning Spirit just as you're playing and getting ingredients, and that will add up. So bake cookies, hand them in, get more spirit, then go back to Ava, start focusing your spirit into specific drops. That's going to be the best way to get good pulse rifles regularly. Okay, let's move on to the weapons, stats, and perks. Now I'm going to compare it stat-wise to the other 2 legendary lightweight pulse rifles that are relevant right now. One is the Ogma, which is a good pulse, and the Chattering Bone, which I've always been a fan of, which is the pulse rifle from the Last Wish raid. In terms of range, the Stay Frosty has 38 base range, which is the same as Ogma, 5 more than Chattering Bone. It's got 52 base stability, same as the other 2. It's got 67 handling compared to the other 2 at both 70. Slight decrease there. 70 aim assist, the others are 71 and 73, so again, very slight decrease there. It's got a 1.8 zoom, more than Chattering Bones, slightly less than Ogma. So it's very similar to Ogma, but it has the best airborne effectiveness value at 20 compared to the other 2 at 10 and 15. So it's really good for you just absolute mad lads out there jumping around with pulse rifles. So I don't think you're really going to feel that stat difference. The recoil is 55, same as Horror's Least, for example, same as Ogma. So it's vertical, but it is going to have a little bit of wiggle in there. You can get that up to 100, but it requires a couple of things lining up for you. Probably not going to happen. But I wouldn't stress it too much. It is vertical enough. So looking at just the base stats, this weapon is a good lightweight. It's arguably better than the Chattering Bone, but very slightly worse, but almost the same, mostly the same as Ogma. Big difference is that Ogma is an energy weapon, Frosty is stasis, and so it goes in the kinetic slot. But the real point of interest on this thing is the perk pool for sure. The Stay Frosty has some absolute banger perks to turn it into a lethal kill chaining machine. Perks that far surpass the Ogmas, in my opinion. In the first column, you've got Offhand Strike, which gives the weapon more range, stability, and accuracy from the hip after a kill. Again, for you mad lads just jumping through the air, hip-firing pulse rifles. Otherwise, most of us are probably not going to see a lot of mileage out of that perk. It's got well-rounded. Tunnel Vision, Moving Target, Thresh, Killing Wind, and Encore. Now these are some killer perks in here. You got Killing Wind, Encore, Tunnel Vision, absolutely incredible kill chaining perks for sure. My favorite here is Encore. I've got one with Encore and Desperado. I've got an Encore Headstone roll, which you see a lot of in the gameplay. I love Encore, but I also like Killing Wind, you know, that extra range and mobility. Tunnel Vision as well, fantastic after a reload. Moving Target, great choice. So many good options here. But Encore is going to give me that extra range and stability that helps make follow-up kills much, much easier. And it recently got a rework, which is a real buff to the perk. I recommend that you start trying out some of your weapons that have Encore on them. I think you're gonna be impressed. In the second column, we've got Headseeker, Kill Clip, Desperado, Adaptive Munitions, Golden Tricorn, Headstone, and Under Over. I've used and really like Golden Tricorn for that 15% damage boost after a kill, bumping my damage up to 31 per headshot. You'll see plenty of that in the background gameplay. I like Desperado, and there's some Desperado action in the video. And I like Headstone for my stasis build on my Warlock. It gives me some damage resistance when I'm next to a crystal, so I can go stand next to a crystal that I create after a headshot kill and have a little bit of DR in my next duel. Or if I'm far away from that crystal and an enemy is close to it, I can just shoot it, blow it up, and get some free splash damage on the other targets. But obviously, Kill Clip will be nice here too, even after the rework. Then you obviously have the Omolon Fluid Dynamics Origin trait, which is great for PvP. Lots of free stability on the first half of the magazine. So let's talk about God rolls here. What should you be looking for? So in my opinion, the best options here are to go for Encore and Kill Clip. That would be my #1 combination here. I think that's going to give you the most mileage out of this pulse. You're going to be able to chain kills best with that combination. Tricorn is good. But getting that exciting Tricorn ×2 is really hard with Stasis, since most Stasis abilities are designed to help assist kills, not to get them on their own. Desperado, very cool perk, not bad at all, but I prefer Kill Clip for the consistency. In terms of barrels and mag options, I'd say look for things like Hammer Forged, or Small Bore, Ricochet rounds, High Caliber rounds, Stability and Range Masterworks are good. Pulses always get better with more range and more stability. I've got a couple of good 4 out of 5 rolls, and now I'm going to head back in and keep grinding for that perfect pulse. So good luck to you and all of your farming endeavors. If you want to give me a beautiful gift for the holiday season, you can head over to my other channel that I'm trying to get partnered. It's not a gaming channel, it's a whiskey and cocktail channel where I review whiskeys, make recommendations, and even give history lessons on the history of whiskey around the world. So feel free to click the link in the description or pinned comment to check that out and offer some support just by liking any of those videos or leaving a comment. That would be absolutely amazing of you. Thanks for all the love and support this year, everyone. Have the happiest of holidays. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.